Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Three Idiots Talk Aquariums podcast. We really appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into it by going around the room and seeing what everybody's been having going on in their fish rooms recently. So I don't know if you want to start, Ryan, but what's been going on for you in the last week or so?
I can't actually think of anything. Just
that's a riveting start to the podcast.
Just fish stuff. Yeah, I've got another leaky tank,
true.
so nothing exciting there. You know, like
Really?
just
Another
normal
one?
shit. Just normal shit. Yeah. There's that one that I sent you that video of that I was getting confused about because, yeah, but no, that's it. Just stripping. I'm breeding lots of fish, stripping lots of stuff, but just normal stuff.
Did you make the tank that's leaking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you make the tank that's leaking?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So are you ready to remove your title of DIY Daddy?
No, I'm Master Tank Builder 2.0.
Cool.
It's all the first ones that I made that are leaking, and the last 12 are sweet. So I think I may have learnt from the first ones that I made.
Who would have thunk it?
The first ones are terrible, and the last lot are actually pretty good. But yeah, it's a nightmare.
Oh, no worries. Well, what have you had going on recently, Kim?
Well, I will tell you a wee story that I've had. I watched a video on YouTube, and I didn't agree with something that someone said. So I went out and did a Three Idiots test, and I tell you what I tested, I was correct with. So,
oh God, here we go.
Oh wait, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I had a bit of a brain delay there. I didn't even. I was like, "What the hell's he talking about?" I feel like I would have known about this.
This completely insignificant thing. But anyway, carry on with your insignificant bullshit.
I still don't 100% understand what happened. So maybe a discussion would be good to unpack it.
I still don't even care.
I watched Cam's video regarding heaters, and a comment he made was putting an air stone close to the heater to circulate water. Where, in theory, absolutely you want the water circulating around the heater for better water flow and everything else. But I said to Cam, if you put your air stone too close to the heater doesn't work properly. It leaves it running the whole time, and there's obviously going to be increasing risk of a heater going out and cooking your fish or something along those lines. So I had two completely open empty tanks, put two air stones in it, put one air stone further away from the heater, one basically underneath the heater. They were straight cold because I only filled them up the other day, and then I put a thermometer on them. Overnight, the one with the air stone further away from the heater got to 24.8 degrees, and one with the air stone directly under the heater only got to 22 degrees. So it was like a 2-degree temperature difference. And the one with the heater, Ryan cares so little, he's walked away. The one under the heater was still running. The heater was still running the entire time, where the one with further away from the heater is the heater's doing its thing by turning itself on and off. So the heater's running more constant when it's underneath the air stone, and it's not heating properly. So I won that. I'm waiting.
I have a question.
Let's get on to today's subject, eh?
No, let's not. That doesn't make any sense.
It just blew my mind completely.
How would running? Could you just shut up? How would running the heater longer, like having the heater always be on, result in the tank being colder? That doesn't make any sense. The tank would be hotter.
Well, it's colder because the air's coming up underneath it, so it's on the whole time, and it's not circulating it properly. So if the heater's
on the whole time, then it would be the tank would be hotter.
Do you want me to bring the footage back up? Because I've shown you the footage. I've got video evidence of this not working properly.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense.
I think your science and your theories are just fucked. You're not a scientist. You should
This
maybe
is the most redneck science I've ever heard in my life.
stick to horse and carts, and and just
This is three idiot science. It doesn't need to be a proper answer.
Because
except I'm
wouldn't the heater being on the whole
If the
time
heat-
mean that
if
the
you've got
tank
the
would
same
get
size
overheated?
if you've got the same size tanks and the heater's on, regardless of the air stone, then the tank that's heater on the long will still be the hottest because it's like adding that many watts of heat to the water, and the same air stone will be doing the same cooling in either tank. So you can't say the air stone's cooling the water in one more than the other unless you've got one running for longer. So yeah,
I'm going to get real deep and philosophical here.
It's not a
I'm going
word.
to say it's not a word.
Philosophical.
Did I say it? It's a word. So
Disagree.
again, my theory is the cold air coming in directly under the heater make the heater stick on for longer and not work properly, right? So I'm going to go out on a limb with my massive science degree here and say that the cold air, because the hot water is heavier, so it's not mixing it properly, which is why it's colder on the other tank.
I think is did you use those nasty
Well, I will
thermometers?
apologize
Those
when you
nasty-
say something that makes sense.
the nasty thermometers that are usually like 2 or 3 degrees out anyway.
No comment.
Yeah.
They'll bring you out of the bag. You out of the
but-
bag. The
But if you
digital
read the back of the
one.
packet, it says plus or minus like 1.5 degrees or something accuracy on the back or some shit like that.
Fine. I will change the thermometer. I will change them over, and I'll get exactly the same reading. I just want an apology.
Edith,
I was right. You were wrong.
I'm not
I think
apologizing. This doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense, and I think it's completely stupid. And
It is
also
stupid.
really
Thank
hard
you.
to scientifically prove.
I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Who? What are you talking about? Oh.
I also
This is
also had something happen that was interesting the other day at Cam's shop when I was there, which proves that maybe
I'm right.
maybe I'm not as old as he says that I am, because I was just there chilling, dropping off some fish before the fish club meeting, and walked past the tank, and I was like, "Oh, you got fry in there?" He said, "No, I don't. I'm about to empty that tank and give it to Clark to put his Demosonian." And I was like, "Here, look at that, look at that." He's like, "No," and I was like, "Look." He's like, "Oh, how did you see them?" And I just saw them walking past. He's about to drain the tank and throw out all his cherry barbs fry, which he may or may not be the first person in New Zealand to breed the albino cherry barbs. So we might have a New Zealand first right there.
They're freaking tiny. At the time, they're bigger now. It's easier to see, but they were so tiny. I don't know how you possibly could have seen them. They're
Do you
just
want me to carry my glasses over to you so you can see better?
don't. You look so weird without glasses. Not a fan.
I was going to get some contacts not long ago.
Well, I'd
I
advise
think
you
you
not
should
to.
stick with the Harry Potter glasses. They suit you better.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. So I got some cherry barbs. There's at least 10. So, you know, it's a good start for an accidental bunch that I didn't know.
Considering they just randomly spawned in the gravel and you've put no effort into it, that's pretty cool.
That was like a tank that I was because I was like grooming them up, and then I moved them over to a spawning tank like 3 weeks ago, and then they just happened to be there, so that was nice. And they haven't spawned in the spawning tank, so I mean, who cares about fish? Crazy stuff. So yeah, that's basically that was my story of things that happened to me recently. So yeah,
it's a great story.
I don't think there's any other.
It's one for the ages. It absolutely is. Just like when I get my
Shut
apology.
You shut up. Oh, you know it's a terrible joke when you crack yourself up and no one else laughs.
I was laughing at you telling me to shut up so quickly, actually. But I'll take that.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, we'll get into the main topic for today's video, today's podcast, and this is one that is Cam's suggestion for topic. So
It's gonna be good.
the floor is yours. I don't 100% understand it well enough to explain to people, so you go to town and then I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Cool. Okay. So, as anyone who's watched or listened to the podcast at least once will know, we've all kind of got our own favourite fish. Ryan is very clearly onto African cichlids and nothing else because it's kind of boring. Cam seems pretty interested in the American cichlids, Oscars and stuff like that. And I obviously like the really cool fish, like the plecos and a few community tetras and stuff like that. So, like, we've all kind of got our own bias when it comes to fish that we like. So I thought this episode we could talk about fish that are totally off character for us. So Ryan, for example, can't talk about anything to do with African cichlids, and I'd premise that even a little bit further down that it's more any Riff Lake fish. So we can't talk about Cynodonta or something like that as well.
Damn it.
Just the fun.
that was my go-to as well.
I knew it would be. Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, Ryan's been in the hobby for a long time. He had spent a lot of time breeding pistogrammas. For example.
Really long time. A really, really long time.
But it does enable me to spot clearly, obviously, like albino fry swimming around in a tank from walking past it that you hadn't seen. So, you know.
It does, yes. I'll admit it.
As hobbyists, we all go through stages of things we're interested in and like to keep and play around with. So we've all kind of had a journey of different things to what we're keeping now. So I thought it'd be interesting to have a wee discussion point on some other fish that aren't what we normally would keep or enjoy.
Sure thing. Well, I thought to start off, maybe we'll just go around the room quickly.
So sorry, what's Cam not allowed to talk about? Americans. That's it.
Well, if you let me finish what I was saying, we will go around the room and quickly discuss what each person is not allowed, what is off limits for each person. Because aside from Ryan, well, like Ryan's pretty obvious, but for the Cams, I feel like it's a little bit.
You guys own pet shops, so you love all fish, so it's
a little more eclectic.
Exactly. So, yeah, Ryan's not allowed to talk about cichlids. Job's done.
Riff Lake. Can't talk about the Riff Lakes.
Fair enough. I feel like there's another loophole we're missing, but
it's bound to be.
I'm sure we'll hear about it soon. What do we reckon for the other Cam, Ryan? I reckon, like, I don't know, blackwater and like tetras and like catfish and that kind of stuff. Like little stuff.
Anything
little boring stuff.
Blackwater, yeah. Blackwater, he definitely loves his blackwater dumbfish.
Hey.
Definitely, yeah. So what do you say? Any, but then he'll just talk about, if we say, yeah, so any blackwater, is it Amazonian? Are they all Amazonian fish, the ones that he natters on about? I think they are.
No, because there's some Asian fish in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say, I'll say any little community type fish.
Any little dumb community fish and catfish. All catfish.
All catfish.
Brian doesn't want to hear about your plecos.
Are you specifically saying plecos or all catfish in general?
All catfish in general.
Oh,
and that includes Cordoris.
Oh, you really suck.
Grumpy.
Oh,
all right, well,
lasers are so cool. Anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the point. So what am I not allowed to talk about?
I know.
Well, you must be banned American cichlids.
Well.
And Africans probably as well.
Yeah.
Just no cichlids in general.
Yeah. Well, those are the two you natter on about the most, so they probably...
Yeah.
Too easy.
I'd say bigger Americans and African cichlids are the ones that take your heart the most.
You mean any fish that's interesting?
Yeah, the boring ones.
Yep, sweet. So...
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
We're sorted there.
I have some ideas there.
Cool. Okay. So for everyone listening, if this conversation about us setting parameters on what we're going to talk about was interesting to you, let us know, and we'll do it again live next week as well.
Yeah. Normally we just send like 3 messages between us, and then someone complains, and then we just forget about it and wing it. So
someone complains after the episode; they didn't know what we were actually supposed to be talking about.
Well, that's only if one person, shall we say?
Yeah. And then even after the episode, they still don't know what we're supposed to be talking about. We've got problems.
Oh, yeah. So
I love that one.
I guess
so
I guess seeing as Ryan is the most obvious off limits guy, I guess he can go first and tell us all about those lovely tetras he loves.
But the first fish I'm going to talk about that does not come from the Rift Lakes is an OB peacock, because it is man-made in a tank. It is man-made
That is
in
pretty
a tank.
clearly a loophole.
And
Shut it. Stop talking.
So,
Shut it down.
Dragon's blood. Damn it. No, so in the bad old days when I thought they were cool, and I actually still think they're cool when I see them in shops. They're pretty wicked fish. I'm tempted by them, but I did used to keep pistogrammas and breed them. I had like maybe 10 different types at one stage. So yeah, they were cool. I liked that. They were nowhere near as cool as the ones that are coming in now. Like the cockatoos and stuff coming in now are way better. Although I haven't seen any good orange flash ones for a while. We seem to just be getting the triple reds and stuff at the moment. And there used to be wild type ones around as well that were quite nice. Not as flashy, but they were cool. And that was when old Phil Collis brought them all in. A name from the days that most people won't know.
That is a name from the past.
He run that big discus breeding place up in Auckland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a name from the past.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what to say, but the good thing about them, as opposed to African cichlids, is they were a lot easier for me to ethically house when I sold them, because most people that had a community tank could actually house them. So like, it was a lot easier to actually, move them on and help people out with them. Nowadays, I have even the random people in Helensville that find out I've got fish, like the guy from the dairy found out somehow and yelled over my gate to come have a look because he wanted some fish to put with his guppies, and I was like, nope, can't help you there. Can't help you there. And I did like, it was pretty cool seeing that, just randomly chucking them in a tank and chucking some alder cones and leaves and all this sort of stuff, and then all of a sudden female just changes from being a boring color to like banana yellow, and then shows up with all these babies swimming around. That was pretty cool.
You know why? Because Blackwater is awesome. No?
Awkward.
I'm not there.
That reaction's great for the podcast format. I love it.
Yeah. And I still see them in shops, like if you see a real nice Borellii or McMaster or even nice cockatoo or something, you're like, ooh, they're pretty cool. Even that I'd never seen those what are they? Those Agassizii, the gold ones. What do you call them?
The
posted a
gold
photo
fire.
of the gold fire ones. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're real cool. They're like because they get a little bit of purple through them, I reckon, is like the coolest part, even though it's like obviously mostly a yellow fish. Like that nice splash of purple contrasts really nicely.
Yeah, they're definitely a nice fish. They are for sure.
Yeah, there's some real cool ones around. Like a Pistos is one of those ones where it's like, you can go down the rabbit hole as far as you want, and there's any number of different ones, like any color, any pattern you can think of. There's probably an Apisto that color. So, and we can get quite a few of them. Like it's not like, it's not like wild betas, for example, where we can get like 3. It's like Apistos is like. I don't know how many, but there's many.
There's lots of them on the list. The only problem with them is they're a high risk fish, so they may not get imported as much, but they're still popular enough that they're going to get imported. They seem to be seasonal as well. Like you look at it even a year maybe. Like you look at this year, there's been heaps of them around, and then maybe for the next year or two there won't be any. They'll just die out, and people won't import them.
Exactly.
Panduro was always my favorite. They were always my favorite. I loved them. They were cool.
Yeah,
but haven't seen them for a while. The Nigesi came in as well. They're very similar.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, there's so many different types, and like they're suitable for like most sort of community tanks, you know, like not all of them, but most of them. And there's different colors and stuff you can mix in to go with whatever else you've got. So what more could you want, basically?
If you can't talk
So,
about an
yeah.
African Cichlid, I guess you can talk about them.
Yeah, it's a good choice. I like it.
Some description.
Is that?
At least it's a cichlid of some description for you.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
Loopholes. I'm telling you, man.
Well, I had the ultimate loophole, but you guys shut it down. That was dumb.
Yeah, that's obviously cheating. I don't know why you thought you'd get away with that.
Brain ticking away. There was got to be something, and he found it straight away.
Yeah,
You
I
could
could
have thrown
see-
it in later in the podcast.
I could see the steam coming out of his ears.
Yeah.
Is that because he's old enough to be still running on Steam?
Exactly.
Hey-o!
Yeah. Well, you're running on. What are you running on? You're running on pedal power, so
Well,
I don't
Right.
know. It's a step up, I guess.
All right, Carol, I won't say it. Go.
All right. Well, what do you have, Cam? What's your first option or
Are
suggestion?
we going to allow me to talk about rainbow fish? Or
No.
are they too?
No.
Are they too community?
Yes. Wait,
So,
like
Chris-
not even close.
Oh,
Like,
no.
that's a
You do
terrible
rainbow
idea.
fish, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I really like jaguar cichlids. I think they are
What the?
yeah. I absolutely love jaguar cichlids. I think they are stunning.
Yeah, well, you've gone
That's
bipolar
stupid
opposite to what
fish.
you were talking about before. Not what you normally talk about.
Yeah, no, I seriously think they're a nice fish. Like if you get natural sunlight come on them and like a big mature male with that sort of oily coloration that goes on them, they're phenomenal fish. They really are. I'm not saying that they can be housed by everybody and all that kind of stuff, and they can be aggressive psychopathic killers and things, but they are a cool fish. And if we could get yellow jacket jags in the country, I would be down for that, like straight away. I would absolutely set up a tank just for them because I think they're absolutely amazing fish.
That is very interesting. Cool. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone talk about jags. To be honest, they're not.
Oh.
They're one that, you know, I like. I don't know how to say this, but like, they're always, every time you see them, they're never like kept properly. You know, like you always see like stunted ones and like, you know, terrible water quality and like with some random, you know,
one.
I can't
Nellie's-
like with a
Nellie's got
random.
some nice ones you've seen, hasn't he?
I think I've seen pictures. I don't know if I've seen them. I'm sure I have, but I don't remember them. But then you never see like super happy, like really like just pretty ones kept kind of by themselves or whatever. So yeah, I mean, my first reaction was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
They're
My
cool fish.
second reaction is, not for me, but I can see it. I can get it. I can, you know, I could get behind it.
You know,
They
I
got
have
real
one-
big mouths, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one in a 6-foot tank with Jack Dempsey and Oscar, a red devil and something else. So it was 4 or 5 fish in it. It was kind of pushing the limits, but everything kind of worked correctly. Like there was no dramas between any of them. They're all big, mature fish. They all had their spot. Everything was kind of content. And yeah, that was the absolute standout of that tank. Absolutely loved it.
You know what I reckon? I reckon they would be so cool in a big pond, like an indoor pond.
Yeah.
I reckon that'd be real cool because like the way they're like, because they're pretty like wide, I guess. So
yeah, there's stealth and ambushy.
yeah, exactly. So like sitting there watching them and like, you know, just chucking in like, I don't know, some earthworms or something and watching them like just absolutely smash them. I reckon that'd be actually pretty cool and like pretty fun and interactive.
They're very cool, and they've become a total wet pet.
Yeah, exactly.
Super cool fish, and when they're on and they get that color along the sides, they're just phenomenally stunning. They're a beautiful fish.
Yeah,
And if they bite
and
you, you'll know
They
about it.
bite, look out.
yeah, that's the one problem with them is like you probably need some special health insurance for getting your arm bitten off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're
That's a
actually
good one.
really cool
That's a
fish.
good one.
Yeah, the thing with them is the only problem with them I find is there is so many around. Like I don't know why, but there seems to be a lot of people breeding them at the moment. But like for people who have big enough tanks with the desire to keep them, so
We
you know,
we have this
not
conversation
to
on
be
a
a
regular
broken
basis.
record on this.
You're like,
Yeah.
there's so many people breeding them. They're everyone like, where? I don't see anything.
I don't think I've
It's
seen
because you
that
live in
many.
Nelson.
I don't think I've
Yeah.
seen that many, but you probably see more of them than I would because people probably try and surrender them to you. So that's probably the
Yeah.
problem.
And I think the thing with them is they have very large spawns. So
Yeah,
like
they
it doesn't take that many people breeding them for there to be heaps around.
Yeah,
But
one spawn, you
actually,
fly them.
like, yeah, I know if I had a guy trying to sell me them, you know, maybe it was 3 days ago or something. He's like, "Oh, do you want to buy some?" I got like 200. I was like, "Bro, I could maybe sell one, maybe two."
yeah, they're
But
pretty a convict when it comes to spawning.
And what are you going to do with 200 of the bloody things?
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I think I mean, I don't know how people will feel about this listening, but I think he was going to feed them to his other fish because there was too many. But that's none of my business. I don't know, but I feel like that's what he said he would do, which is probably better than just flogging them off to like random kids and stuff for $5 each. Probably that's better, but I don't know.
100% better, yeah. Because
Yeah,
otherwise,
so
everyone's going to suffer.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I guess it's my turn now. So I don't know if this is technically going to get me in trouble or not, but you guys did say only cichlids, so I'm going to go with biches, if that's allowed.
You've got a loophole.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I was going to say we probably should have done him from arowanas too because he loves penny, right?
Well, I can talk about something else,
monster.
but I don't talk about biches that much, so
I haven't
up to you
heard
guys.
talk about biches, so we'll let you have your.
All right.
Those
Well,
are nice, and we're going to let you have your loophole. One wasn't even that obvious, or that along the direction of what you guys didn't want me to talk about.
sweet.
Well, if you're allowed fishes, I'm allowed rainbow fish.
They're not.
No.
So when I first got my big tank, I bought a ornate bicher, but it's kind of funny. Like bichers weren't really my thing. I was like, whatever. This is fine because I bought something else. I bought a giant gourami at the same time, and like I just threw in because I bought it off a guy, and I just threw in this bicher just as you know. Oh yeah, throw it in for an extra however much. Like it was probably like an extra 200, but you know, it was
when you're a baller, it doesn't matter, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, when you're young and dumb. Yeah. But I bought this bicher and I was like, whatever. It's not really my thing, but I just chucked it in and kind of didn't really pay much attention for like, I don't know, probably like 6 months to a year. I was just like, yeah, it's cool, but not really my thing. I'm not really that excited about it. But then all of a sudden, I looked at this ornate and I was like, that thing is freaking awesome. It was like starting to get some size and like the way they swim. Like, they're such interesting fish. They're maybe not the most like showy or colorful of that, but so interesting. And like, especially now, it seems to be a lot of biches coming in. Even not necessarily like the poli, the Polypterus poli is coming in recently. The ornates, the delhaises, a few different types of Senegals. Like we even got like the leucistic Senegals. Like they're actually such cool fish and such good tank mates for like your pet fish kind of thing. Like they can go with Oscars, they can go with your arowanas, they could probably go with your jags, like all this kind of thing. And they're just so interesting, like the most fun things to watch because they're just so like prehistoric looking, and you know they got big mouths, so you can see them hunt. Like I even just chuck them in frozen prawns every now and then, and like watching them hunt this prawn is so interesting. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And they creep up and then they like smash it so hard. I love it. It's fantastic, and it's one that everyone seems to love, even like non-fish people. Like people bringing their kids walking past, and they're like, "What the hell's that?"
Yeah,
and it's like, "Oh yeah, that's just a dinosaur hanging out."
Yeah. I get a lot of comments about my one. Then the same thing. It's just it's genetically back from dinosaur times. It's a pretty cool thing. Like whoa, and yeah, I agree. I think they're pretty cool too.
Yeah, exactly. Like
No.
they're scary looking, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I've definitely noticed your one when I go in there and looked at it and seen it swimming around and gone, that thing's cool. It literally
Yeah,
does
man.
look like someone's taken a dinosaur and chucked it in the tank. It's just and it's just some sort of snaky. What is that thing? You know, and the
People always
colors,
think it's an eel.
the pictures on its not the pictures, the coloration or the lines on its
Pattern.
fins are real cool. Yeah, they're real
Yeah.
cool. Like it's got like I don't even know how to describe it, but just like stripes and definition and just real cool shit.
Like a mosaic kind of pattern almost.
Yeah.
A pattern is the word
I
you're
was
after.
trying to
Pattern.
describe the pattern.
This is an audio podcast, Cam. You gotta really let the creative juices flow to paint a picture in someone's mind.
And we're not all sewers that can picture a pattern straight away, okay? You know?
So if you're listening, just Google ornate Baisha and that'll do the job for you, and we'll stop trying to do stuff we're obviously terrible at.
And Cam will also post videos on this page, so you know he always does.
Always. That's also one, like whenever I post a video or a picture of the ornate, like everyone loves it. Those posts get some of the best engagement that like out of anything. And I'm like, that's so weird. That's not what I would have thought people would be into, but
And they're fairly easy to take videos and photos of because they don't move very fast.
Exactly. Except the only problem with my one is he's always sitting in his little cave.
Well,
I'm like,
you.
I'm glad you like your cave, but come to the front. I need to take a picture.
Would they be? They're probably one of the. I don't know. I've never kept them, but to me, they look like they'll be one of the better monster fish. Oh, yes, are they monster fish? One of the bigger fish in New Zealand. They don't seem like they'd be particularly hard to. I mean, they need a big tank, but not like a huge tank like an arowana.
Yeah.
Would they be relatively? Would you be able to house one in a 4-foot tank, like a decent sized 4-foot tank?
I'd say the good thing with them is there's like a scale. So like the Senegals, the Polyptera senegalis, like any of the different color varieties, is going to stay a lot smaller. And like you could keep one in a 4-foot, no trouble. And then you can go all the way up to the ornatus, the ornata pinus, which is like the biggest one, which you'd need probably like an 8-foot tank for realistically. And there's like some in between there. Because you got like the Delhaises and the Poli and that's a little bit in between. And, they're a lot calmer personality-wise. They're not going to really fight with anything. They're not super active. Like, they're active, but not, like, mental. So they don't need as much space as, like, a similar size, like, arowana or something. So, yeah, I mean, they're real cool fish. And they're one that, people love.
Do they fight stuff? Do they fight each other? Can you keep like a bunch in a tank or?
So the ornates are a bit more aggressive. They may fight with each other and others, but all the others are very calm. They'll eat stuff. They're very good predators. Like, so their mouth is a lot bigger than you would expect, and they'll eat basically whatever they can. But they won't really like fight with stuff. It's more just like, if it fits in the mouth, it gets eaten kind of thing. But they're not going to like fight with an Oscar or something. The other thing I forgot to say is my ornate keeps trying to spawn with Penny. And it's the most funny thing to watch. They keep trying to spawn. And I'm like, you guys, this is not going to work. I'm sorry. Like, you can see both of them doing like their spawning behaviors. I'm just like, you guys are so confused because like Penny's probably not seen another arowana since she was a baby. Baisha's probably not seen another Baisha since it was a baby. And so like they're just so confused and they keep trying to spawn and like they do their shaking thing. And I'm like, you guys just need to calm the hell down. So that's funny to watch if you've got a particularly dumb Baisha and a particularly dumb arowana. So yeah, forgot about that story. But no, they're cool fish. Cool fish for sure.
Okay. Yeah,
and there is some Rift Lake ones out there. Just putting that out there.
Is there?
He's like, what? Really? I can keep these in my fish room.
The ornates make it down to Tanganyika.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can get. I've seen I can't remember. I follow this guy from like Japan, I think it is, and he sometimes gets like these wild caught Tanganyikan ornata pinus, which is quite cool. Probably they'll be hard to keep with most Tanganyikans, but apparently
eat them all.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently it does happen. I'm not
Yeah.
an expert in that, but look it up. It seems cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah. What is your next suggestion, Baldy?
Or Nate's from Tanganyika now, by the sound of it.
No, if they're from the Rift Lakes, then I can't talk about
Good.
them. I was going to go with the guppy.
The
The guppy.
That, of all the things you could have said, that is the thing I was probably least expecting. That and neon
Okay.
tetras.
I'm changing it, and I'm going to go with the cherry barb.
Oh, fair enough. I can get behind that, obviously.
Yeah, I just think that those, particularly those longfin cherry barbs that you've got, they're probably potentially all looking a little bit sad now because they're getting a bit older. But
Some of them
yeah,
are getting a bit droopy.
yeah, that was so cool, and the just bright red things swimming around in a planted tank just looked awesome. I think that's a real cool tank and a real good. I don't really know too much about them. I just think they're cool. That's it for me. So
You know, those ones are like, everyone's always like, oh my God, where'd you get those from? Like, what the hell's going on there? I just bought like 20 from Ronnie ages ago, like a couple years before I had the shop. I just went in, I like saw them because I was looking for something for a planted tank.
yeah,
And I was like, oh yeah, they're cool. I'll take them. And then I like took them home and they're just like hanging out in my planted tank for ages. And then I took them to the shop once I had the shop. And like I didn't even really notice, you don't really notice them getting better and better with time because you see them every day. But then like all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh my God, those are awesome. I was like, damn, they actually are. Like, because I looked up, I have pictures of them when I first got them and they're like pretty little, pretty gray. And I'm like, like they're cool, but not like earth shattering.
red.
Now, like, yeah, now
You
everyone
probably
loves
should
them.
breed
I don't
them.
even.
You probably should breed them.
Yeah, probably, but they're a bit old. But yeah, the thing is, like, I always get asked how I get them so red, and I reckon it's just time, time and good water.
Good water, good food, good lighting.
Yeah, I don't even know if it really has much to do with the light, because even I used to have a different light on that tank, and they were the same. And like I do some experiments sometimes just to check myself, and they all look pretty similar under the same lights. I think it's just time and good food.
Time and maturity is a big one with cherry barbs
Yeah,
and
for
rainbow
sure.
fish, which I'm not allowed to talk about. But
Shut up.
definitely time.
You're also not allowed to talk about cherry barbs.
They just need to mature. Oh, I'm not. Damn it! I'll be quiet in the segment.
No, you can. You're allowed to contribute if someone else brings it up.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah, totally. Time. Letting them mature, letting them do their thing, and they just develop into what are absolutely stunning red fish.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's actually probably the same with a lot of fish. It's like time is so important because like it takes things time to settle down and mature and all
Mature
that kind
is
of
the
stuff.
key word. Like,
yeah, exactly.
mature is the absolute key word.
100%.
Yeah.
The other good thing with cherry barbs is you'll get a little bit of like sparring with the males and like you will get spawning behaviors and all this kind of thing. So they're real good like beginner fish in that they're easy to breed if you want to. They're like you get the color and the activity, so it's like a win-win situation. It's not just a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah, totally
yeah.
agree. You're cool fish.
Yep. Cool.
For sure. All right. What's your next suggestion, Cam?
Well, if I'm not allowed to talk about how cool Parkinsoni rainbow fish are, okay. I'm a little bit on the fence because I don't want to bring up Drift Lake cichlids because it'll get Ryan on a tangent. So I've got a couple written down that are Rift cichlids. So
you're not allowed to talk about Frontosa.
No, it's not Frontosa. I'm going to do it. Okay. I think male Red Empress are phenomenal.
That's a good choice. I like it. I like the way you think.
They're one of the first African cichlids that I had. It was a male. And the colours on them are just phenomenal. They take some time to really grow and mature and be stunning, but when they are showstoppers.
Oh, yeah, they take forever, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, they're very cool, though.
They're one of those fish that has a bad name, though. I reckon. Like, I don't know. Yeah, red empress does like because it's more of like a rainbow. Like,
Oh,
there's a lot.
sorry, you mean a bad name as opposed to a bad reputation, so to speak.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they
Right.
should have named it something different because it's not like it is red, but like there's more going on than just red.
Yeah,
so
totally.
It's
Yeah.
like
Seems like an odd
red,
choice.
red top glaucoma that has a yellow top on it.
Yeah, that's not got any red on
Not-
it. It's
not
like
red.
some people need
anyway,
some bloody
yeah,
glasses, but yeah, they're cool fish. And they're good because they're not, they're not unapproachable for like most tanks. Like most peacock tanks or peacock and hap tanks will be able to have one. They're not, stupid big. They're not stupid aggressive. They're kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
So
They fit in quite nicely. Yeah, like I said, they don't get ridiculous,
not-
big, but they get big enough.
And they're not hard
Exactly,
to find
yeah.
at the moment either. They're not hard to find at the moment, especially good quality
Exactly.
ones because Mark's pumping them out of Tauranga. So,
There was a while there was
Yeah.
a few crossbred ones hanging around. That was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and they were looking pretty average and pretty gross. But
there are still a bunch. I bought a bunch recently from a guy that was closing his tank down.
Yeah.
Oh,
There is
these
a
are
lot
red
of,
empresses. They're not red empresses.
there's a lot of I don't know if it's still happening, but for ages there was, I don't know who it was, but someone was breeding peacock, like reddish peacocks and calling them red empresses. And so all the time I get customers in like, oh, your red empress looks so different to mine. And I'd like look at their pictures. I'm like, wait, which one are we talking about? And it's just like some red peacock. So assuming it's an actual red empress, they are very cool fish. Very, very pretty.
The only problem I found, like you guys say, is time and patience.
yeah,
You put them in a
massive
display tank and they can go silver.
Yep.
And then you're like,
Oh, yeah.
that sucked.
Yeah.
And then it can take ages and
Years.
sometimes they pop and they just come right and they're sweet ass. And sometimes they just pop for a week and then they go back to being bland again. So I found them quite temperamental in a display tank to get them there, but they're definitely worth trying because when they get there, they're amazing. So
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure.
like under the right lighting as well, they kind of look like they've got an outline border, just like the slight black trim on the outside of them, if that makes sense, like on the top of the fins. And it makes it kind of look like they're bordered and outlined, which makes the colors just explode even more, if that kind of makes sense. There's a lot going on with them. I think they're absolutely beautiful fish when you get a mature male.
Yeah, they are really cool. And it's one of those ones that's like, it doesn't matter what you think about like cichlids or like bigger fish or whatever. It's like anyone can look at it and be like, wow, that is so cool. That is such nice colors. That's so active. Like, wow, that's just a cool fish, And even the females aren't horrific looking. Like, they're not colorful, but they're better than a lot of the other female Malawi cichlids. So, if you want a colony, there is worse choices out there. So, better enjoy it. But yeah, I like them. I like you. I like the way you think. So, can we look forward to a empress colony in the near future for you?
Not a chance.
Little chance.
Still like the way I think?
Yeah, not so much. But I like them.
Yeah, they're nice fish.
Yeah.
Just take ages to mature.
Yeah, but worth it. So yeah, I guess this is my what's it called? My choice next. So my next one is, again, not 100% sure if I'm allowed to talk about it, but you guys tell me. And I'm gonna go with like common plecos, like red spot, gold spot, sailfins.
Gross.
I just want to ban them just because they're crap.
I just want to ban
They're cool
them.
fish.
They're just dumb.
Mistreated. No, yuck. No.
No, but
I'm
I'm not
confident
talking
you
about
get
a
out of it.
mistreated one. I'm obviously talking about like looking after it properly and all that.
But then
But I think they're very cool. They're
You're
very
wrong.
cool fish.
You're wrong.
Shut up. You see like a big, like the difference between like a big, fat and happy one and like, a stunted, sad one in a messed up tank. Like a big, fat and happy one is so cool to watch. They're so interesting. Like they look like, again, how biches look like dinosaurs, like common plecos look like aliens. Like they're so interesting to watch, and because they're good, because they're never gonna really cause any trouble. So like you can go one way and have them with like arowanas and like big Oscars and stuff like that, or you can go the other way and have them with community type fish or that. I love how Cam just put in the chat boring in our little behind the scenes chat. So that's fun. I guess someone's a bit grumpy, and Ryan said agreed. But like a big fat and happy one is so cool and so interesting, and one that I find anyone will love. Anyone like any type of fish person sees a big one and they're like, "Wow, that's so cool." And even non-fish people actually, but
I've seen a lot of non-fish people get into them and go, "What the hell is that?" So
exactly,
I'll give you that.
That's what I'm talking about.
That. But
apart from that, know what they are and go gross.
Yeah,
like just a mess. Like I used to have a client who had one that would have easily been like the length of my forearm, but like twice as wide. Like humongous.
Forearms.
Shut up. But like a humongous like common pleco is like you just stand there and you're like, wow, how is this like a real thing? This looks like a toy, and it's just like cruising around doing its thing. Like that's so cool. I love it.
You done now?
Yeah.
Even you're making yourself bored.
Even you're yawning because of how shit they are.
No, I'm yawning because we have to wake up so bloody early to record this.
Okay, well,
but no, I like it.
I've got the footage. Just edit that out. Just edit it out. It doesn't need to.
I'm so disappointed in you guys.
I'm not angry at you. I'm just disappointed.
Disappointed how shit that was.
Can we just move on?
All right, go on then.
You are the worst podcast host.
Is it me? Is it me?
Yeah.
You.
Bring some fun to it.
I guess I've got to go with the guppy then because I don't have much else. I used to breed a few guppies and enjoy them. They were cool, like neon blue tuxedos and Moscows and stuff like that. I like them. I think they're cool. That's basically
I'm so glad you brought them up. That sounds interesting.
Any color under the sun. I think you'll definitely find there's a lot less guppies abused than boring common plecos, so that's definitely a positive. You don't have to have a big massive tank for them, and they don't just create so much poo that you've got to have massive filters to suck it all up. It's just that is way better. So yeah, that's my lot.
Do we want to go back to common plecos? Because I can rebut that point.
Guppies are amazing, especially when they're like nice, really nice, colourful lime breed ones. They are some of the most beautiful fish that you can find. They're so much better than those stupid common plecos.
At the moment, there's some really cool guppies coming in, like really cool fancy ones. Like
get those gold ones, you get the white with platinum ones, all sorts.
Platinum ones, like the red, all sorts of reds been coming in. The only complaint I have is the Dumbo ones. We can't get Dumbo ones. Like sometimes we get Dumbo ones, like they'll be on the list, and I usually order them just in case they're cool, but they're always so shitty. They're like Dumbo ones is like a slight little bit of color on the pectoral fins, like that. If you whip out your microscope, you'll probably be able to see it. But like I can't even sell them as. I don't even sell them as Dumbos. I just sell them as like what do I sell them as? Like assorted imported or something. Because like they're not even close. They're so shitty, but. All the other ones, very, very cool.
Yeah, over the last about a year, there's been some really nice guppies coming, and they've been coming in male and female as well, which is pretty cool too. So if people are interested in breeding, they're picking up males and females at the same time, which is great.
Yeah. When I bring those in, I usually sell them as trios to make sure that they all go like together, if that makes sense. So like that people can breed them, because oftentimes like. If I just sell them individually, then I just get, a tank full of females, and someone's like, "Oh, I want to breed them, but there's no males left," kind of thing. So
even the females are quite nice. Same.
For sure.
If you've kept that particular color strain segregated from each other, and you're just selling females, they'll be up the spud anyway.
That's like I had. I did a little podcast about it the other day, but my first fish. or this first lot of fish that I added to my first tank was just a group of female. They must have been like some sort of Moscow guppy or something, just like black half, all females, and they were so cool. Like that was the one that like I wasn't even a fish guy at that point, and I love them. So
Yeah, female Moscow's
Yeah.
quite nice. They give it a lot of
Yeah.
colour for a guppy.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, they're not like a female, electric blue Friary or something. We're like, there's brown. Like
It's just brown. Yeah, boring.
there's a little bit of color.
I've really enjoyed this guppy chat that Ryan brought up and had nothing to bring to the table about.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's a prejudiced bigot.
I just think they're cool. So I go into your shop and I see them in your tanks and I go, those are cool fish. They look awesome.
Are you going to
So
set up
can
a
we look
guppy
forward?
tank sometime soon?
Can we look forward to Ryan's African Cichlid and guppy facility?
The problem with
dream
them
combo?
is I'd want to be like Pokemon and have them all, and so I'd have to have like 50 tanks, and every time a new one came in, I'd have to keep it.
That's easy.
Just get another
You've got
Fishroom.
50 tanks, get rid of the Africans. They are dumb. Fill it up with guppies.
And the problem is also when you're breeding them properly, you want to take them out when they're, I used to be sitting there with a torch, shining the torch through them when they were a month old, trying to figure out which ones are males and females to make sure they hadn't knocked each other up, so I could select the best male and the best females to breed together and all that sort of stuff. So yeah,
Painful.
Sounds like we should do it again.
nah.
Mm.
I need another 100 tanks to do that.
What do you have next, Mr. Heary?
So we sure I can't talk about Parkinsoni rainbow fish?
Very sure.
Yeah.
Now shut up.
They are really, really cool fish.
Shut up. Still talking about it, bloody cheater.
This might go really off left field for me. And this is purely based on the personality of these fish. I think pink giant gouramis are cool. Not the
They
red-tail
are,
ones.
yes.
I think the red-tail ones are dumb, but the pink ones are awesome.
I agree.
Yeah, I like the
Next.
shape and I like their behavior.
Sorry,
and I
pink
like
watch?
pink giant gouramis. They're ugly-looking things, but they have.
But that's
so much
why they're cool.
personality.
It's endearing.
Yeah, they're
It's like a face only a mother could love.
yeah,
Like your mum.
and like the way. At least I know my mum.
Oh.
I didn't hear what you said, not gonna lie.
So just move
Gone
on.
now. Just re-listen to the podcast.
Yes, boss. I'll have
Yeah,
a chuckle
and
while I edit it.
the personality that they have and the way they come up to the tank and they're like, I think it's really cool. And they eat
Yeah, they're real cool fish.
chunks of fruit and stuff like that. They're just a cool fish.
If people want a pet fish, like that is a great choice. Obviously, you need
Have an
a lot of
aquarium,
space.
aquarium.
It's a lifestyle choice though, because you got to have a massive tank or a pond or
Yes.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Not chucking one in. And I'm glad that they're not like super common in the hobby because they shouldn't be, but they're cool.
Exactly. But they are cool to have around. And they're another one that would make a fantastic pond fish.
Yeah.
Because they're a bit more like, again, wide, so you can see them from the top. And also they'll be like up at the top, like begging you for some strawberries or something like that. So
Yeah.
they are
So
real
it's
cool
much
fish.
personality. Yeah.
The only problem with them is when they are little, like when they're growing, they're absolute mental terrors. They're just, yes. Well, all giant gouramis, like when they're little, they're just absolutely mental. They just want to kill everything. And then when they get to full size, they're like, okay, I'm done. And then they're just the most mellow, placid things.
So it goes
like
the
when they're
opposite of
small.
most fish.
Yeah, exactly. Like when they're smaller, and because I don't know how, but they actually can do a lot more damage than you'd expect for such a dumb looking fish. But they'll just kill anything. But I really want to, I do really want a big pond or something with just like a giant gourami and nothing, and a common pleco and nothing else. And they're just so much, they're so interesting looking things.
They're
just
very
eat some
interesting.
strawberries in there and go for
kinda
a swim,
amiable.
give it a cuddle.
I don't
they're
think
so
I
ugly.
They're not big. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not like silver arowana big either, are they? When they're mature.
Oh, they're giants,
Oh
man.
no, they're pretty fucking big.
Are they bigger?
Absolute giant.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I'd say
come
like
again,
you'd want
lift
it.
it up.
You'd want an equally big tank, probably.
Yeah, they're huge.
Like
And
they're
like
not as
Deep.
probably
Then-
long. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
the
just
whole
2 foot,
package.
2 foot long, but they're quite deep, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh no, they get
big-
more than
big
2 foot.
rigs.
I'd say.
Yeah.
They're a 2 foot.
But yeah,
tank.
they're like it's not as long as a silver arowana, but there's a lot more fish there. You know, like a lot more fish. Kind of
can
one
see
where
how-
it's like I don't think I'd be able to lift one.
Or
kind
you
of
are
thing.
soft.
With-
You struggle to lift pins.
Can you shut up?
Got it! I lifted it. Well done.
It's because you do all this
Oh.
manual labor because you got to bloody pedal power all your aquariums. Twat.
So
You could see
So
in the
good.
wild they'd be
So
like
good.
like sport fish or food
People
fish.
eat them.
Oh yeah.
They'd eat them. Yeah,
Yeah,
they'd eat
yeah.
them for sure. Yeah.
Easily feed a family if you catch one for like a
Oh
long
yeah.
time.
No trouble. Yeah. But that's so cool. That one that's like definitely a dream fish for me. But
Yeah, Hollywood Fish Farms, Mount Roskill used to have a big one, Hallowed, in their display tank in the shop, eh?
Yeah.
Do you remember that one,
Yeah,
Cam?
no,
You're
that
too young
was-
for that.
I do vaguely, but not well.
And then
Yeah,
they
like
converted
that.
it to an African Cichlid tank.
Because you're idiots.
I'm not going
And
to comment on that one.
And they haven't gone back.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'll let that one slide. But yeah,
Okay,
no, I very much like that choice. I very much like the way you think.
Oh, look at you. I'm
Actually-
making you happy for a change.
Actually, you probably could have it with Jag, eh? So all your suggestions are all in keeping with each other. You're not doing specifics. You're building a setup.
Except for the Red Empress.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well,
not going in.
close enough. That goes next door to that.
The other things on my list could all go together. But yeah.
Oh, I look forward to it. Well, unfortunately, it is not your turn, so it is my turn,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go with one that is probably no one's going to expect me to say, but I'm going to go with panda cories, specifically panda
I
cories.
saw that coming a mile away.
Oh, that's what she said. But I'm going to go. I think they are so cool, but you want to have like a big group of them, like maybe I don't know, like 15. But I reckon that's so much fun.
15?
Like.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Big speed.
Well, like I want to have a big group of them, but they're so much fun. There's like tiny little things, but like having a big group, like the way they kind of like frenzy around in a group and like all on top of each other is just so fantastic. Like they're such cool fish. Like having them just like cruising around, just running the roost is absolutely awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. I do like them. I think they're a really nice corridor. I just don't like how sensitive they are.
Oh yeah, that's
my only- my
definitely
only
a consideration.
Yeah, they are cool. Again, they're one of the few cories that have a little bit of color to them. A lot of cories are kind of bland, if that makes sense. But they get a bit of color to them, which is nice. But you're just a little too sensitive for my liking.
I don't know if they're that sensitive, really. The only thing is because when we order them in, they're like minuscule, like when they're like that, obviously it doesn't take much. But like for an actual like happy mature one, I reckon they're not too dissimilar to a lot of other things. But yeah, they are really cool. I really like them.
So do
They
you
make a great addition.
kind of put them in the same category of like starlight bristlenose? When they're small, they are super sensitive to pretty much any movement. But once they get big, they're almost bulletproof. Are you kind of saying that about
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not something I'd add to an immature tank or,
fair.
maybe treat lightly in terms of like maybe it's not the best first fish, but it's not like much after that. Like, once your tank's settled and like maybe it's like the last addition to your tank, I think they're fine. Not enough to dissuade me from suggesting them. But yeah, they are cool. I like them. I really like them. They're so much fun. Like they're just fun fish. That's like the best way I can describe them. Maybe not the most pretty, maybe not the most like interesting pattern or that, but just fun. Like so much fun to have a big group of them cruising around and like chucking an algae wafer in the way they all just like knock it around like a big soccer ball.
I like the size that they keep, staying a bit smaller. I think it's quite
Oh
cool.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Which allows them into your smaller aquariums. I think it's quite nice. Look, I agree. I don't like how sensitive they are. That's my only thing
for sure.
with campers.
Yeah, and I mean, for what I'm saying, I'd probably keep them in a bigger tank as well, because like, I wouldn't chuck just like 5 in a tank, in like a 20-liter tank, like a lot of people say. Like, I'd want like a good 2-foot tank with 10 to 15 kind of group, and not as much other stuff, just cruising around. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well,
I'm done with that.
Does Brian have anything else, or has he run out of ideas?
I have nothing.
He's
to
given
add
the
to the
I have no
mandatory.
ideas face.
Yeah.
This is my I have no ideas face.
Nice.
Which is very similar to you. I've got lots of ideas, face.
It's good on a podcast too. Can
Yeah,
you see
exactly.
my face? Can you see my face? Anyway, you guys can keep going with your very good suggestions.
Cool. Okay. So I'm not allowed to talk about Parkinsoni rainbow fish, am I?
Oh yeah, you can.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Nah, it's like
They're cool. They are cool fish. Anyway, so I've got 2. One's an African cichlid, one's an American cichlid. So
African, please.
I don't know where to go. I really like the white top haras, or the white top afras, or whatever it is that you want to call them. I think they're really cool in Boona. They used to be pretty prominent several years ago, but they don't seem, you might correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't seem to be quite as prominent anymore. But I think the colour on them with the splash of the white through them, I think makes them really cool.
Agreed. They're awesome. And the females have a bit of colour, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like the females actually come up
Get
in
to-
nice
and they-
blue and stuff.
They get to a nice size and they're quite a nice shape. They're just a generally really nice looking fish, I think.
And the males can go from like a blue, like an average mid blue, to like white with black barring, depending on their mood.
Cool.
So they're pretty cool. They are cool. Yeah.
they are. I do like them. The good thing with them is they look like, I don't know, they just look like an Mbuna, like they have that kind of body shape and like almost like
slightly different mouth shape.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's some like a I don't know what's like an Auratus doesn't massively look like an Mbuna, but like White Top Hara looks like an Mbuna, and I think that's cool. No one else is probably going to care, but I like it.
Metroclimber shape is definitely there.
Yeah, exactly.
I should probably try and breed some. I should probably try and breed some. I just don't know if the ones that I've sourced are 100% legit yet.
Oh yeah, that is the thing. I have seen some real shitty ones around.
I had some F1 ones, but I lost them, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, hopefully you find them. Come on, that was funny. Give me that. You barely gave a smile for that one.
Not cool. Average.
It wasn't funny.
I expect good from you. Not okay.
It was funny.
Do better.
So that's good. That's good. I like how I can't talk about African cichlids, but you guys do. So it's good. Or you do at least, so that I can talk.
But
about
what does that tell you? That means that they're actually cool. Because even if you don't talk about them, someone else will.
Yeah, but they're not really.
Agreed.
You agree they're not really that cool? So do I. They're okay, but
nah, I like them.
Yeah. What do you got next?
What do you got?
Oh, did you have one, Ryan? Or
I got shit. Oh, actually, I do have one. I was going to go with the humble bristlenose because I just think they're cool. I think bristlenoses are awesome. Like I have them in all my tanks. I love them.
How can you shit on my common pleco and then just say the smaller common pleco?
They're just cool. They're just and even though apparently cleaner fish don't exist, they eat algae and shit. So they do a good job at that. And
did you watch my video? Because
I don't watch
that's
clickbait.
disappointing.
I don't agree with clickbait either, so I don't watch them.
I don't get clickbaited.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I do hate both.
Fair enough.
Oh shit! You got your funny undies on today, boy. So yeah, I just think they are a cool fish. They hide a lot, but then they also come out a lot. So kids spend ages looking for them. It's probably one of the most popular fish in Kim's tank. They don't get huge, so most people can keep them. What I like to do when I add them to a tank is, especially to a beginner, is put them in there thinking that the theory being that if they overfeed the fish, at least the bristlenose might come along and eat some of the food and sort of as a little bit of a buffer there. Obviously not good to plan to overfeed, but knowing that if they do, the bristlenose is probably going to come along and hoover it all up and give it a little bit of a layer of safety there so it doesn't go rotten and manky.
Which they will.
Yeah. What's that?
Which they will overfeed.
Yeah, they're probably going to, and someone's probably going to walk past and get a bit excited, and generally the bristlenose will have a crack at it. So it's good, a little bit of insurance policy there. And yeah, I just think they're cool, and they get all sorts of different colours and fins and da 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 da. You know, like
I do like a long fin bristlenose, and I do have to say that a full blooming male with a big old bush on its face is quite nice as a single fish as a point of difference because it's all different to what other fish are. So there's definitely credit and interest there. Just don't keep them as a pair, otherwise you have a gazillion of them.
yeah, that is the problem.
Yeah. So I say to people all the time, just get one. Don't even run the risk of getting a male and a female. Just get one, because if you got a male and a female tank, you're away laughing.
Yep.
So
No,
for this section, just all the points I made about common fleckos, just go back and listen to that, and then that is my opinion on this. They are definitely cool. They're interesting. They're fun. They're good. There's all sorts of different colors and fin shapes and everything. So, you can have whatever you want. And yeah, basically, it's a staple in the hobby for a reason.
Because they breed like rats.
Exactly. And I mean, that being said, though, there is one that would be like a good starter breeder fish. Probably not the browns, but like you get some nice like long fin albinos or something, they'll be a good option.
I like the goldens and I like the calicos.
Yep, yeah. There's some cool options around, man. For sure. Cam says, "Can you both stick around after the podcast for a quick video for TikTok?" And then Ryan said, "I need to go to the toilet."
Because he's
Got
got,
one
a
brewing.
big one brewing.
no, there's a reason it's in the chat. Anyway.
So that's disgusting. But, yeah. But no, I mean, that is a good option. I like it. Do we have time for more?
Is there any more pressing one? Is there any more pressing ones that need to be said?
I've got
Ryan's
one
got
more.
a pressing one.
I've got one more that I'd like to talk
My
about.
sphincter.
Yes, boss.
Redheads. The American cichlids.
Redhead geos.
No, the redhead. I don't know. Are they Fijias or something like that? The big things, the red and multiple kind of rainbow colors on them. You're probably too young to know about them because I don't think they've been in for a little while.
Redhead.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Redhead American
Vegeta,
cichlid.
is it? Is it
Yeah, it could be
Vegeta?
that.
Yeah, I think I had some of them once, actually.
What is it?
Yeah.
American cichlid. They're really cool. Because you're on your phone,
Yeah,
you probably can't Google it.
Yeah, I can't look it up, but what's it called?
All I know them as redhead cichlids. So they're a big American. A similar sort of shape to a red devil, that kind of rounder look. Big and butchy.
Oh, Vieja. Yeah, I know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome. That's the what's the other name for them? They call them rainbow cichlid or something like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
spell them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know them. Yeah, don't you tell me, boy.
I know, old mate. Yeah, old mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're
one of those ones that I get asked about all the time. Like they seem to, even though they've not been around for a while, they seem to be super popular still. And that's definitely one that if they come around, there's a good chance I'd get some because like that's another one like the Red Empress is like just a super colorful, cool fish,
They're
like
cool.
all sorts of color.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That I
Obviously,
like that cool.
Yeah, you need a bit of tank size and all that kind of stuff because they do get quite big. but they're a cool
They're
fish.
like similar to like waru size, like pretty decent. Like you'd want, probably more than a 4 foot kind of size.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they're not tank busters though. They're not big, massive tank busters.
Not giant,
Yeah.
but big enough. Yeah.
They're like a big cichlid, but not like a giant gourami. Like that kind of space, I guess.
Kind of what you'd think of a normal size big American cichlid, just big and chunky, big and butty, but the colours that come
And they're
through,
pretty they tend to be a bit more they're not like a jag or anything. They're a bit more calm than that, and they're a good, like, I think they're a good one that from my memory is good in a shoal. Like you wouldn't massively want to keep one, you'd want to keep a little group of them. A bit more social. Animal abuser. But I don't know that enough. But like, because I think of them as very similar to waru, just like one you'd want to keep in a group in that. But I like that.
Okay, cool.
I like that call a lot.
I go with them. They look cool. Yeah.
I've got more African cichlids if we want to talk about them, Ryan.
Of course we do.
Like, I really like brown eye haps, males in particular. The color and the patterning through them, I think, gives something slightly different.
They're not a common color, like, because they like, again, another dumb name. They're called brown eye haps, but they're like yellowy green. But it's not a common color that you'd see, like, a lot of other fish have it. It's not like it's blue or something.
Yeah, and it's another one of those, like, when the mature male is in spawning mode, that's when you get the absolute best out of them. But in between, you don't get the best, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't go as well in the mixed tank.
Yeah. When they're on, but when they're not, they're just a bit kind of olive greeny, weird looking. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So for people listening, well, at least for my customers listening, it's basically like an SP44, but slightly different. So my customers will probably be a bit more familiar with them, but they're very similar, just maybe not quite as colorful.
Do you think the SP44s are easier to get than the brown eyes now, or it's still brown eyes?
For me, because I can just get them off Ryan or Andrew, but yeah.
In general.
Well, I don't know. Do I say things that'll get me in trouble? Probably.
Maybe.
There's a lot of shitty ones that get sold by a lot of people, so it's less hard to get. Like, it's like a yellow. They're probably not as hard to get in general, but it's harder to get good ones.
The problem with a lot of the Victorian haps is most of them are all just crossed and just random rubbish when they're imported. So they're not actually a proper pure brown A, and they just come in as a mixed assorted Victorian, but sold as brown A because that's what the most common one is. So in like Victoria,
there's not that many pure ones around.
They've eaten them all. They've put Nile perch through. What is it? Or tilapia? They put something through. What they put through
tilapia.
The lakes?
Yeah,
tilapia through the lakes, and they've eaten them all. So
destroyed it. Yeah. There's only
all the wild Victorians are just hybridizing with each other because everyone else got eaten.
Yeah. There's only 2 or 3 Victorian cichlids in the country. There's not very many, is there?
Nah.
Brown A is the only allowed one.
Yeah. And then there's SP44s, or are they a man-made variant?
The SP44 are real, but they're basically brown A anyway. They were imported as brown A.
Yeah. And then that's
it's one of those misidentification ones.
Yeah. And that's it. There's nothing else. Yeah, I didn't think there was many. Pretty
much, unless I'm missing something obvious, but there's not a lot. It's not like Malawi. There's like hundreds of the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. I'll go for that one. I like them. I think they're cool. And also the coolest thing about them is the males like fully colour up about 2 centimeters long for SP44, and it's nothing like seeing this little tiny fish that's bloody bright red and blue and doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
How cool would it be if they stayed that size?
Oh, it'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. The good thing as well with them is they're not as big as they again don't get massive. They get that more medium size, which is good. Bit more manageable for people. So yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Good times. Good choice. I like the way you think.
It makes a change.
So yeah. Well, I mean, we've been going for a wee while, so I mean, this is kind of one we could probably go on forever. Endless topic. So I'm sure we'll revisit it once we run out of original ideas. But yeah, that might be it for today, I guess.
We have had a request to go longer, so if you're still listening at an hour and 15 minutes and you want to hear us go longer, please let us know via comments or private
for some
messages
feedback.
or
For some feedback, we might do it, but
yeah,
I'm going to put a poll in.
Yeah,
I'm going to put a poll in the Spotify. So please vote on Spotify, or if you don't have Spotify, DM one of us your vote, and we'll tally up the numbers. And if you guys want, I'm sure I can get up even earlier to talk about fish tanks, because what more could you want?
We've been umming and ahhing it, and it's kind of on the sense of a thought that if nobody actually wants us to talk longer, what's the point? But if plenty of people do, then we can.
And we don't actually know if anyone actually cares enough to listen to us for this long. So
we could easily do another.
I'm shocked people care enough to listen to in the first place. So hey, I've been surprised. I've been surprised before.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Like finding cherry barbs fry under 10K.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Anyway, do you have any more pressing ones for quick fire, Cam? Either of you two, quick fire?
No, I've got more, but they won't be quick fire. So
not quick fire. Okay, cool, sweet.
I've got more as well, but same idea.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Sweet as.
Well, thanks for. You said you had something to drop on the. Did you have something else to talk about, Cam? No.
Well, yeah,
I did. Yes. It's a new segment idea, but we kind of run a bit long with the what's going on segment this morning, so I'll save it for next week.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. Well, thanks for listening to us. Hope you enjoyed us talking about fish that we like, that we're not supposed to like. Other fish that we don't normally talk about. And Cam's imaginary listener came up with this idea. So if any real people actually have any topics that Cam doesn't want to talk about, did that not a suggestion from one of your listeners?
No, that came from me.
No, it was real. It was a real one from you. You're not pretending to be someone else. So yeah, keep listening, keep subscribing, and the merch kind of dead in the water. So yeah, let's try and reinvigorate the merch train. Get some cool, get some t-shirts with my face on them out there.
If we actually produce some merch, people might go, "Hey, cool, I want it." Not just talking about it for the last 6 months.
No, but if someone wants the merch,
over the last 6 months, we've had one person mention it ever. So I don't know. I don't want to get stuck with a bunch of shirts with my own face on it. That'd be a bit lame.
You get work shirts for the next 6 years.
Yeah, but I don't want to have my own face on it. What a loser.
Self-sourcing, number one.
Exactly.
All right.
All right.
Cool. So
thank you very much for listening. See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye.